Thank you for staying with us. The show is still Weekend Deal, Africa's biggest deal, showing on Africa's largest TV network, the NTA. Right about now, we'll be talking about us, you and I, unity in Nigeria, culture and politics as a tool for national integration and unity. Now, we know that unity is just the only tool we could use if we want to talk about progress in Nigeria. And when we hear the call for this unity, it just takes me back to 1960 when we gained our independence. I wasn't born then, but the whole process, the great speeches we've had makes me to ponder, where did we all get it all wrong when we talk about the clamor for this unity? Well, we have a guest joined us in the studio, and he will be talking to us on ways we can move forward as a nation. Please help us welcome Honorable Barrister Ibrahim Bello Rigachikum. Thank you very much for joining us, Honorable.
Yes, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
And it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, almost 57 years after gaining our independence, I'm just wondering, why are we still on that pedal, on the debate for negotiating our unity?
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here once again to discuss this very interesting, interactive, that matters the whole generation of Nigeria. The issue of culture, politics, it's what's obtainable. The whole 36 states of this country, including Abuja, were diversified. We have a lot of different kind of ethnicity, religion, and at the background of it, constitutionally, everybody is exercising its own fundamentals without any interference, and at the same time, we're federated. So this tells us that this discussion is very, very important.
Yes.
That we want audience to appreciate, notwithstanding the challenges we're expressing today from some region, some of the yearnings of Nigerians, and to remember that those people that fought, for the integration of this country, most of they're all demised, and they will not be happy from these kind of agitations. The basic thing is unity, and at the same time, the culture, which is practical in every aspect of our society, make every Nigerian, to appreciate the neighborhood, because everybody has its own, ethnic kind of background, and it's only in Nigeria, I stand to be corrected. Go around to historically, if you read about different kind of countries, this is the only country have over 250 different kind of ethnicity.
Well, Honorable Bello,
Yes.
we want to know, where did we really get it wrong? Where did we get it wrong?
Yes, it's the leadership. I have this to say. When each and everybody has a right to exercise religion, constitutionally, has a right to practice on ethnicity or what have you, the customs and what have you, then we are bonded in one. Being a patriotic country, whereby a Hausa man may be the head of state or the president of this country, the vice president may be an Igbo man or what have you, but notwithstanding their kind of ethnic status, all we want is consolidating ourselves, appreciating the fact that we're all Nigerians, without showing any kind of different of nepotism or different kind of religious kind of sentiment and what have you. That's why there's a problem. Because when you talk about when you go into the aspect of religion, that means interference.
Yes.
So if you look at the constitution, every Nigerian has a right to practice the religion of his own interest. So if you look at somebody because he's not a Hausa man, or he's a Fulani man, or he's an Igbo man, you think you are not, and you're a Nigerian. If you have that kind of mentality, that's why issues start coming.
And I like the fact you mentioned mentality. Would you say that we're doing enough, in terms of reorientation of the populace when we talk about national integration and unity?
We are not doing it. At the same time, without number, we have National Orientation Agency and so many other government platforms. They're supposed to, to enlighten the Nigerians, mostly and fundamentally about Nigerian fundamental rights, like our constitution. It will be very interesting if our constitution is translated into Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Fulani, so many other prominent tribes within the whole 36 states, which means every village man can go through the constitution and know his fundamental rights. Now everything is in English language, and for how many years? We're in the National Assembly. We have this kind of behind, but we don't have that kind of support to it. But it's fundamental. If each and every Nigerian knows about his own right, so many things executive arbitrariness. All this kind of issues you're talking about, no, will not come, because if every Nigerian knows about his right, he stand by his own right. And that's the difference between we the Africans and the West.
And you mentioned earlier that Nigeria is the only country with over 250 ethnic groups.
Yes.
Now, should culture be a tool to harness this unity we talk about? Because we all have our different ideologies.
Absolutely, yes. They should use it to bring this integration. And as I've said it before, it's a very interesting thing that in each and every, within the whole 6 political region in this country, most of us, we appreciate each other's kind of traditional institutions, because you cannot interfere. Like myself being a Fulani person, I will appreciate when I sight an Igbo man displaying his own kind of culture, because I know I cannot do it, but we're still Nigerians. That's the beauty of it.
Yes.
So, and if you look at some of the Asians or the West, most of them, or the Arab Spring, most of them, they have one religion, one language, but they're not in peace. But look at this Nigeria. Over 250 different ethnic groups. Look, there's not any Nigerian can come here and tell you the number of tribes we have in this country.
True.
I start to be corrected. Even in your own state or your own local government, in your own ward, you can only preempt what you have read in the books. But fundamentally, nobody.
No.
We're large and we're blessed. What I'm trying to portray here is that notwithstanding 250 or more, but we're still united against all odds. But fundamentally, in order to integrate this country politically and by our culture diversity, is that the leadership of this country from all the 6 political regions should cooperate. Should not be looking at, I'm a Hausa man, this man is an Igbo man, this man is a Yoruba man. That is why that's why this problem emanates.
Okay, now, Honorable Bello, civil and economic unrest is usually seen in a society where living conditions are very difficult, and of course you cannot take Nigeria out of that scenario. Would you say that with economic empowerment, most especially of the youth, all this unrest here and there, would that put a stop to it?
Oh, of course, yes. When the government is so concerned about youth restiveness, vulnerables, neglect, and other bills, motions, or another ideological kind of formation, where the government will look at the issue of youth. With these youths, they are the leaders of tomorrow. If they're abundant, they are neglected, they're going to be sponsored, and basically in Nigerian society, we don't have this kind of birth control. All of us, as we're sitting here, and our audience knows that their own streets, the birth rate is so marvelous than that's what we're experiencing in this country. So the government, based on this kind of analysis, that the people to be blamed, the government must go extra mile to make sure that the youths are considered, even though this APC administration, President Muhammadu Buhari has done well, because it's one of the campaign promises, by creating jobs. The monster of unemployment has been this country from 1999 to today, politically. But creating an avenue like this empower processes, giving youths some kind of empowerment assistance, poultry, all this kind of mechanical aspect, and so many other things will make them to be stable, productive, instead of being criminals.
And it's quite unfortunate, because youths are always the ones they use as a tool, to create violence, when we talk about political instability. Now, what would you advise young people out there watching right now on the need, to take their own destinies into their hands?
Thank you very much. You see, the drama is with the politicians. So we are not being given or assigned with skilled operatives in our activities. So we use what's called foot soldiers. These are the youths, neglect. Let me put this way: abandoned, prostrated youths. Instead of some of the politicians that are so soft, they are so wicked. Let me put it this way: you see a politician, his children are well taken care of, taking the best schools, best medical, whatever you can think of, and beside his gate, you see a lot of youths, smoking in their home, or doing so many other things, just protecting that particular politician. Instead of empowering them, assist them to become something. But no, this is what's happening now. So it's I have this to say here: the youths, to all hearing, should be very wise to take their own destiny. They should go extra mile, try to be creative. Or they ask that politician to help them by empowering them, skill acquisition program, tailoring, perfumery, soap making, and so many other things which can become assisted. But the truth is that most of these politicians, as I've said before, since we are not being given security operating in our own daily political activities, these are the use they used to use. That's unfortunate. And sort of term almost every all 36 of this country, including Abuja, this sort of term now.
I'm very sure if the youth are well empowered, it will go a long way in ensuring political stability in the country. But I want you to speak on ways we can, bring back into influence our conversation with each other, the culture of honesty, the culture of hard work, and all of that in our dealings with each other.
Oh yes, you see, this is another thing entirely different again, because when the leadership, when our leaders are so self-centered, I have to insist on this what I'm saying, because I'm in this politics and I've had a lot of experience before the National Assembly. When I represent the largest constituency in Kaduna State, Igabi, I have a ward, Regasa. We have more than 4 million people in that particular ward out of 12 wards I represented. So I know a little, much about all this kind of stuff talking about. So the issue of honesty, it's another thing entirely different. Because you cannot talk about honesty with somebody who's rustic, who's vulnerable, somebody who's living hand to mouth, looking for any answer for any politician, because he has not been classified or has not been assisted, on what to do, or he has not been empowered. So what that simply means here is that if you're talking about youth integration, you look at their own kind of situation. What can you do to empower them, to assist them, to have a better picture?
Now, women present a different proposition altogether. Of course, women empowerment has been championed in many, campaign rallies here and there. But a lot has not really been done to integrate women into this fold. To what advantage will that bring to bear when we talk about national integration and unity in Nigeria?
This is another aspect entirely. When we talk about women, it's another issue. It's a case study in our political activity and our environmental kind of cases. You see, because of traditional and religious belief, if you look at the size of political participation of women, it's not even within 0.1%. Why? Because of religious kind of belief, ethnical and what have you. But notwithstanding, I have this to say: we're all Nigerians, and we're all under the umbrella of democracy now, where we're expecting our leaders to look at all this kind of issue we're discussing here and reason and bring out a remedy to it. Why? It involves women, it involves children, neighborhood, as well as we're Nigerians. But the fact remains the same. It's only the government that had the strength to sit down and look at this kind of issue positively and create avenues of touching the lives of the youth, the women, and what have you, for proper integration. But in as much as this kind of issue is overlooked, they will remain stagnant because the case remains the same.
And as a way forward, if I take you back, you are a product of a federal school. Federal schools used to be one platform, that fostered unity in Nigeria. But it seems to be a dying culture. And then the NYSC scheme, which was recently removed from the constitution, is also one platform that fosters unity. What other means should we be looking at if we must foster unity in Nigeria?
You see, all these, shortcomings that has been exercised is very, very unfortunate. The issue of youth service, what we have all experienced, is so dynamic. I came from Kaduna State. I found myself somewhere in Enugu, where I was there was nobody speaking Hausa, and it's very interesting. Yes. So honestly, I appreciate the fact that there should be continuation of that. One, and secondly, any avenue that we can reason that can bring us unity, that can bring us integration, is fundamental. It's cardinal. Because Nigeria is a very large country.
Yes.
So our discussion is very, very important. That the government, those concerned, supposed to appreciate this kind of interactive and not practicalize it. We are within a certain pedigree where we feel if this kind of observation, is not exercised, then the whole situation is unfortunate. Because we cannot be sitting, speaking grammar all the time. Issues that of interest to this country, they're supposed to be taken to the National Assembly.
But what is the National Assembly doing when we talk about bringing out those policies?
Yes, the National Assembly, as a strong arm of the government, can only come off by legislative processes. So that's when the members of the Senate or the House of Representatives, through their constituents' interest, petitions or yearnings, they can be able to present before the plenary so that it can be debated. Like 360 members we have in the House of Reps, they represent the whole 360 federal constituencies, like 109 senatorial districts. That's from the Senate. So all these kind of issues we're discussing here is supposed to come through the constituents, the electorates, to our legislators. Then the legislators now, they look at the legal implications, legislative processes, so it can be debated in the plenary. Because those 360 people, they represent the whole Nigerians. So if this kind of thing we're discussing here, issues of culture, issues of integration, issues of democracy, rights, look at the youth's restiveness, look at the women's incapacity in participation in politics. And as a matter of that, they have the right to participate. So if this issue can come through norms, laws, amendments from the obsolete laws, fine. Then that's the work of the National Assembly. Then from there, when it comes law, they will comply. But in as much as our discussion is neglected, is not given kind of priority, then we'll only be speaking grammar, and it's very, very unfortunate.
And I'm sure the concerned authorities are listening to you right now, and I'm taking down notes from all you are saying. But as a way of wrapping up this conversation, what should we know?
Yes, what we're supposed to know is what I've explained at the last of this interactive, that each and every yearning should come through legislative processes. So if there's any yearning of integration, anything which is as observed that is a kind of issue that is disturbing the populace, the citizens of this country, let it come through legislative process through our legislators, so that it can be debated in the National Assembly. Then it becomes law, then we'll comply.
Well, Honorable Bello, thank you for speaking to this very critical issue in our time. And of course, in more advanced democracies, culture and politics are used as a tool, to foster unity and integration, which are very important for national development. And of course, that is exactly what we are hoping for, or rather hoping to achieve in Nigeria. And we have been speaking with Honorable Ibrahim Rigachukwu. He represented Igabi Federal Constituency of Kaduna State, and he's also a lawyer.